Hi, and good Thursday, and thank you for spending a little time with us. Glad as always to have you being a part of the program. Glad as always we've got something to talk about it tonight. It is indeed good news that will start us off with one of our top headlines this evening. And I recall when this story first came about a few months ago. I prefaced it by saying it was one of the most exciting times that I'd had behind the desk as far as reporting was concerned, because indeed it was good news that I was bursting at the seams to share with everyone. Well, you might recall indeed what the subject was. And if you don't, well, we'll remind you in just a few moments. As today, the documents were done, signed, sealed, and delivered, as they say, and it's official. And we're going to see a lot of action here in Sagersville, Magoffin County, as the local business begins to set up shop in just a matter of a day or two or three. Yeah, we'll talk about that and take you to the scene of the Logan Corporation site. Go ahead and give it away in just a few moments. Talk with some of the representatives about how significant today was and how it's been the day they've been waiting on literally for months. And we've kind of centered most of our afternoon around that, and that will indeed be one of our top stories that I'll get to in just a few seconds. I do have a few recalls. We do have a lot to talk about weather-wise tonight. Tomorrow is the peak of our forecast temperature-wise. As today, 79, 80 degrees. Saturday is the low of the forecast. The next day at around 69 for daytime highs. No, Sunday might even be a bit cooler at around 67. That will be the low, and from there we'll gradually climb back up to the low and mid-70s thereafter. Very little chance of rain, if at all, in our forecast. I will pinpoint it for you in more detail, but of course, all eyes on a storm unlike anything we've seen in years. It's already claimed at least 39 lives and getting ready to just beat down parts of Florida. We'll talk about just briefly tonight Hurricane Matthew, as we will be talking about the weather in just a few moments. Let me, as a matter of fact, just pause. Let me take about 60 seconds or so to have our first headline ready. Be sure and let these folks know that you're watching whenever you have the chance, and we'll pick it up with our top headline in just a second. Stay tuned. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Just as I was excited to bring you the initial report when I broke you the story about the plan for a manufacturing company to move into the old Joy Global site, I am just as thrilled tonight to bring you the following report that indeed shows that all documents and the deed signed, sealed, and delivered, and that we're going to see Logan Corporation become a fixture of Sagersville and Magoffin County immediately. They've been here for weeks and months making plans in the early stages, and they're ready to hit the ground running Monday of next week. A deal that's been 8 months in the making. Logan Corporation out of Martin County first looked at the Joy Global property back in January, and they started the process of acquiring it just a couple of months later in March. And after months of negotiations, paperwork, and preparations, Logan Corp, as of 3 o'clock this afternoon, has the deed and the keys to the Joy Global property. And Logan President John Horn says that brings about all kinds of emotions.
There's some excitement, some relief, and some pressure. Obviously we're excited to finally acquire the property and be able to expand and grow like we've planned on and like we want to. There's also some pressure in the fact that, okay, we've wired the money, we own the building, and let's get this operation moved and get started growing.
That's not to say that they're starting from scratch today. General Manager Randy Reisner says there's already been a lot of time and planning invested, and that there will be equipment and personnel on site next week.
There's been a lot of planning during this time frame go on. We've been laying out production lines. We've been figuring out where all the equipment has to go, and we have contractors that are actually going to start next week with electrical work, concrete work. So there'll be some activity next week, but as far as moving, you're still talking about a month away. Right now, probably early November, we will have a ribbon cutting ceremony. We'll have to announce when that's going to be. I'm pretty sure the governor's going to attend. Right now, a lot of it depends on what our contractors that we hire to come in here to help us do the work that it takes to get our stuff ready to move. We're not going to shut down our production lines over in Martin County until it's totally ready to move in, so we can actually have no downtime. And that's really the plan, is not to lose revenue during this move.
The ribbon cutting ceremony will be a major rollout. We'll tell you when that's going to be. We'll also be checking in periodically, and we're really excited to catch the first big trucks roll in with steel and other materials, and the big shiny new trucks rolling out and hitting the roads. As for trucks and their product, they produced and invoiced 24 last month, and they hope to double that productivity next year. And that will be accomplished by several factors, if not more than doubling their current workforce with new hires, and by increasing the size of the facility. Take, for example, this one corner of the Joy facility that they've purchased. That roughly equates to the size of their current facility. Now, as I pan around, you start to get the idea of the comparison. Yes, that one corner is what they're operating in as of right now, and as we do a sweep to the right, it just keeps going and going and going. And all of that room and those new employees will greatly increase productivity. And if that doesn't have enough impact for you, this drawing will also help to drive home the fact of how much space that they have to work in now. You can see the outline here is the new facility that they're moving into. The green areas represent the two buildings that they have on their current property. And the anticipation of the move, of the increased business and sales, and making it all happen right here is something that Logan Corporation says is extremely exciting and important to them.
We're extremely excited. You know, we consider ourselves a part of the Eastern Kentucky community, and obviously I'm from Martin County, so when I started looking at this deal and word got out that, oh gosh, Logan Corp's going to move to McGoffin County, and what's going to happen to all these people that are employed? Well, all those people are going to stay employed, and we're going to employ more people than what we have, hopefully double over the next year to 18 months. So it's important to us to be able to employ people. It's important to us to grow. It's important to us to stay in Eastern Kentucky. We could have very easily said, you know, we've got this business and it's working and we've only got 30 employees, so why don't we move to Lexington, or why don't we move to Charleston, West Virginia? Well, we've always been here and we've got skilled, trained people, and we believe in the workforce in Eastern Kentucky. So we want to continue to expand on that and put some of these unemployed people to work.
Only a couple of editing flaws in that report. It was kind of a rush to get it in. It was an afternoon that they spent getting the deed signed. Took a few hours, a little longer than what was expected, and I was in a rush to get it back in here. Nevertheless, couldn't be more thrilled to be able to bring this report to you tonight. And already looking forward to capturing some of the big trucks rolling in, all the steel and materials rolling in, and then, of course, like we said, the first and then the rest of the units rolling out of Sagersville and headed to all parts of the country as they hope to increase their production by double, hire at least double the employees, and be a major boost to the local and regional economy. With all that said, I'll be right back. Before I go on to the rest of your calendar announcements, let me remind you about an event ongoing, and that's the Coats for Kids Drive, sponsored by the Sagersville Masonic Lodge. They're still raising funds to help purchase coats for kids. They're going to handpick about 30 young people in McGoffin County, and they're still, as of yesterday, about $1,000 short. So if you'd like to support that cause, we would certainly encourage you to do so, and you can do so by contacting any Sagersville Masonic Lodge member, Paul Montgomery, our friend Gumby, or anyone else at the lodge. Would gladly and very appreciatively take your donation and support. Here's the rest of tonight's calendar, all brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Don't forget about the fish fry tomorrow evening at South McGoffin Fire Department. That's right, starting at 6 tomorrow. $6 lets you eat in or carry out an incredibly wonderfully prepared fish dinner with all the fixings, hush puppies, slaw, french fries, and a drink. You can eat with them. Be great. They'd love to have you. You can come and get it and still support your South McGoffin Fire Department. And carrying on must be the season for fish fries. I guess it does go pretty good this time of year. A heavenly fish fry set for this Friday, 4 to 7 at the Burning Fork Communities Church. The Ladies Fellowship putting together this event. And how it works is they've got a couple of folks who do this quite often and quite well, I'm told. Delmer and Yvonne Gross of London come. They fry the fish and the hush puppies, and all the other sides are prepared by the ladies at Burning Fork Community Church. It's $10 per plate, per heavenly plate, and all proceeds going to support the men's and Ladies Fellowship Ministry outreach events. That's Friday, 4 to 7 at Burning Fork Community Church. Eat in or carry out. Cruise in this Saturday with the Licking River Cruises Car Club, 4 o'clock at the McGoffin County Health Department. You know how it works, all kinds of cool rides. I can't say one wheel, but anything with 2 to 4 wheels and maybe even more. If you got something you want to cruise in or you want to see some cool rides, come and hang out with them and enjoy the fun. Free dash blacks and all of the proceeds that they will raise will be in support of juvenile diabetes this Saturday, 4 o'clock at the McGoffin County Health Department. This just in, the Prestonsburg Veterans Affairs Clinic, the VA clinic in Prestonsburg, is hosting a free flu shot clinic for all veterans in Sagersville. Make sure if you know a veteran and they're not hearing this, make sure they do. Prestonsburg VA Clinic is hosting a free flu shot clinic for all veterans here in Sagersville at the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center, and it's going to be in the DAV meeting room. It's going to be next Thursday, so I'll remind you in a few days, but be sure and get the word out, 5 to 7. If you've got any questions in the meantime, call the clinic at 886-1970. And we will talk more about it next week, but just a quick reminder, at the big ride weekend, the Triple R weekend, the Ronald Reed ride is next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They'll have off-trail wagon and horseback rides Friday and Saturday, dinners and lunch and breakfast, all prepared by at least one area church. We'll talk more about that later. You'll also be able to get in for $5 and see some great entertainment. Turning Ground on Friday, Terry Miller and the Bridge Saturday. Just a great weekend full of everything for all ages. So be sure and make a plan to go up and check them out. Camping spots are available, $20 for the whole weekend. Bring your lawn chair, bring a blanket, bring yourself and whoever you can to the Triple R weekend starting Friday the 14th. Turning now to funeral service announcement. 5-year-old Billy Joe Whitey Gamble of Old Lick Creek Road passed away Monday, the son of Berlin Gamble and the late Reba Tackett Gamble. Besides his father, he's survived by 5 brothers and 6 sisters. Visitation began yesterday. It continues tonight and then prior to services, which start tomorrow at 1 in his honor. All services from the head of Coon Creek Church. The McGoffin County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements, once again, for 55-year-old Billy Joe Whitey Gamble. And we've just learned of the passing of 63-year-old Larry Russell Elliott of Prestonsburg, who passed away on Wednesday. He is survived by his wife, Linda Gilson Elliott, 1 son and 4 daughters. Visitation will be after 6 tomorrow, after 2 Saturday, with services following at 4 on Saturday. Visitation and services from the Preston Funeral Home in Paintsville.